Hi there, my friends. I hope you guys are doing much better today and this week um, than last week, especially, those who are here in Nigeria. As all of you should know, we've been having some ongoing protests as a result of the youth coming out and wanting the government to put an end to the special anti-robbery squad that has really been known to terrorize a lot of Nigerians and mostly young people. So it started out as a peaceful protest, but somehow and somewhere along the line, the protest was hijacked by, you know, I wouldn't, use any sort of derogatory terms to describe any group of people, but I would say that the protest was hijacked by people who really feel disenfranchised, really feel that they no longer have an option, and I think the situation escalated because someone ordered the military to go out and really start engaging the peaceful protesters. So, and no one has really, come out to take responsibility for the shooting, is what I'm talking about most specifically. The shooting that happened at one of the sites where the peaceful protesters had been protesting for days. And there's really a count that a few people were killed, and there's supposedly going to be, or there is an ongoing investigation about that. So that's what's been happening here in Nigeria. But given what's been happening, I thought that I would take a look at, protests that have actually been going on around the world. And there's actually been a lot. I think there are over 100 protests on record between 2019 and to date of people protesting different things, all of them having to do with global inequality, really. And that's why you see people taking to the streets. So if you look at countries from, Australia to Argentina to Bolivia, even to Canada, Colombia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ecuador, France, Thailand more recently, Lebanon, Russia, Sudan, even the UK, the US, Venezuela, and Belarus, Nigeria. I mean, you can just imagine, any country. And for the most part, there's been some kind of protest. And what people are protesting is global inequality. Global inequality, meaning that the uneven access to, equal rights, the same rights, opportunities and quality of life is what people are demanding and asking their governments for. And that's why people take to the streets, And really, in Nigeria with NSARS, it wasn't just really about ending the special anti-robbery squad. It was much more. It was more about sort of the hardship that people are feeling right now because government is not showing up for the most part for the ordinary, citizen. So, anyway, back to sort of what the topic is at hand today. Today, I'm going to be discussing, some of the global inequalities, and more specifically in Nigeria, why we have such a huge gap between the haves and have-nots, and why we can't seem to turn the corner, okay? We can't seem to actually get it right. Why, since we've gained our independence, things have just gotten worse in Nigeria. Things have gone downhill and are going downhill. And maybe, offer some solutions, okay? So let's get right into it. I obviously wanted to learn more about why Nigeria is the way it is at the moment. And so I went researching, And I wanted to understand why government has been able to get away with, a lot of what they've been able to get away with, and particularly with the corruption, and we're a democracy, and why we can't seem to, why we don't have a good handle on how to hold our leaders accountable. And in doing my research, one of the things that I've been able to come up with, that I feel like the people in the know, people who have done their research, people who are interested in trying to fix the problem, have actually gone to really identify what the problem is, because you can't really come up with solutions if you don't get to the root of the problem. And one of the things that I found that I wasn't even aware of is that our Constitution, and more specifically the 1999 Constitution, is filled with a lot of I don't want to call them errors, but whatever is in that Constitution is such that it has set up Nigeria for failure, to put it very plainly. It hasn't, that Constitution has nothing in it that sets us up as a country for success. It allows basically the government to do as it pleases, and that's the bottom line. And that's really where our problem lies in Nigeria, such that there's too much power given to the government, and it becomes very difficult to hold the government accountable. They are more about spending money than even making money for the country. And I'm not a constitutional scholar or a lawyer or anything. I've just gone and done my research, and I'm trying to explain it in layman terms so that you can follow along and do some research if you want to. But that's the bottom line. Much so, there's a lot of problems with our 1999 Nigerian Constitution, so much so that we cannot even begin to ask for an amendment. It's really that bad that an amendment is not even going to fix it. I mean, it's like dead on arrival. Okay, it was put together by the then military government, and military and democracy don't really go hand in hand. So it wasn't written really for a democratic country or society, so to speak. And so basically, there's so many things wrong with it, but the bottom line is that too much power was given to the government in this Constitution. I would say constitutional scholars have said is that the only way to fix it is that we come up with a completely new Constitution. Okay, and in order for us to come up with a new Constitution, it has to go through what's called a referendum, which, by the way, the Constitution doesn't even allow us to be able to do. Okay, we can't even come up with a constitution because there is no provision for it in the 1999 Constitution. So we essentially have to, hope that the president, gets some people together, or notifies the House and lets them know that, look, I'm going to put a committee together, notifies the Congress to let them know that he's doing this. Or the House, I should say, not Congress, notifies the House and lets them know that, look, I'm putting a team together to address this issue, and that please, whatever they come up with, make it into a law, basically, without knowing the outcome, that is. And then whatever they come up with, they really have to take it. I mean, this committee really have to take it to the people so the people can decide whether or not we want to continue with this Constitution or if we want to come up with a completely new one. So that's the bottom line. For right now, whatever solutions we have to sort of fix the problems that we have would only be a band-aid. So I can't even begin to offer true solutions. The main solution is that we need to come up with a completely new Constitution. In the meantime, what can we do? We can, get together as a country and begin to make really decisions that will move the country forward. Because as over the past few years, if you're putting in or voting in candidates that because they're related to you or they're friends, we know it's not going to work. We know that power is transient. And when a new government comes in, it's another opportunity for another group of people to eat out of the national cake. And we don't want that, because really that's not going to move anyone forward. It just continues to reinvent the wheel of corruption, and we continue to eat at what should be meant for the entire country. And what that means is that, the future, the youth, the future, our children, everybody will suffer, okay, if we don't get it right. So that's about all I want to share with you today. I'm sorry that it's not specific to personal finance, but believe me, what I'm talking about right now actually impacts you individually and directly. So in a way, it's actually related to your own personal finance, because a lot of people are actually having difficulty right now and can't really get by on the kind of income that they're making at the moment. And a lot of it has to do with the system, okay? The governance system, the policies the government is making. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Hopefully you find some nuggets of wisdom in what I've had to share. Again, I'm no expert on the Constitution. I did my own research. I have a better understanding as to why we're where we are and why things cannot really move forward if we don't go back to revisiting the main issue, which is our 1999 Constitution. Some people have even advocated to going back to the 1963 Constitution, which allowed for a lot of development in Nigeria. It was like a parliamentary type of government at the time, which has its own pros and cons, and I'm not going to get into all that. But the bottom line is that at that time, during that period, Nigeria saw most of its developments, when it comes to like capital of federal projects. And so you can do your own research and find out more about that. But people are saying that we need to do something. An amendment is not going to work for this constitution. We need a new constitution. So maybe what people need to start talking about more, so that people aware of it, is one person tell another person, begin to do your research and advocate for completely rewriting the Nigerian Constitution, the 1999 Nigerian Constitution. All right, folks, that's all I'm going to share with you today. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. We hope that the next few days will bring more peace for all of us, more inward reflection of how you as an individual can make and do right by this country and for your children and for the future of Nigeria. Take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now.